welcome to Hare the Rabbit Podcast. We explore everything that is rabbit. We look at different rabbit breeds, history, superstition, pop culture, news, and more. I would like to thank you for joining me today, your host, Jeff Hittinger. I'm not an expert, I'm just curious about learning more about rabbits, just like you. Now with Halloween approaching, we have a couple rabbit tales of the weird. The next weird tale is from history, the Angora Rabbit Project. The Angora Project, or Angora Rabbit Project, was a Nazi SS endeavor in cuniculture during World War II that bred Angora rabbits to provide Angora wool and fur, as well as meat. The Angora rabbit's hair and pelt is known for strength and durability, and was also associated with luxurious evening wear, and will be an elegant solution for keeping SS officers and German military warm and able to endure rough wartime conditions. The Angora rabbits were raised in Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz, Buchenwald, Dachau, and Tralniki. A bound volume entitled Angora, that belonged to Heinrich Himmler, chief of the Nazi SS, was discovered in a farmhouse with his other papers near the end of World War II. It tells the story of the Angora Rabbit Project that operated in the Nazi death camps. Chicago Tribune war correspondent Sigrid Schultz found the book in its hiding place near Himmler's Alpine Villa and described the significance of the Angora Project. Inside the album were nearly 150 photographs of bunnies, page after page of well-kept Angora rabbits posed along or with smiling Aryan women or well-groomed SS officers lovingly stroking the bunny's pristine white fur. Other pages have photographs of the sanitary, modern huts that the rabbits inhabited. Rows of white hutches where the bunnies ate a prescribed diet and received some of the best veterinary care available. On the top of one of the pages, beneath 3 paragraphs of rabbit hutches, Buchenwald is written in elegant script. The photo album that Schultz had uncovered was some of the last remaining evidence of Project Angora, and this was an obscure program begun by Himmler for the purpose of producing enough Angora wool to make warm clothing for several branches of the German military. The project officially began in 1941 with 6,500 rabbits. Rabbit breeding was particularly new to Germany. Rabbit breeding was not particularly new to Germany. The Angora had been introduced to the country from the UK sometime in the 17th century, and the country took to breeding the rabbits with a typical German vigor. Records show that by the mid-1930s, there were between 65 and 100 rabbit breeders registered with the state. Himmler must have seen the native resource as a boon of sorts. Angora wool, a fiber associated with luxurious evening wear, would be an elegant solution for keeping SS officers and the German military warm and able to endure rough wartime conditions. Himmler got the idea of utilizing rabbits for wool production after reading of a small-scale scheme that was started during the First World War. He wrote at the time, "Throughout Europe, it is my intention to establish breeding stations in concentration camps and even decree that they should be kept in pens where they have plenty of space." At one point, a Reich-specialized group of rabbit breeders was formed and customized cutlery was produced for the group, along with a scrapbook. The dinner knives from the set are one of the only material objects that are seen to have survived. By 1943, Project Angora had bred nearly 65,000 rabbits, producing over 10,000 pounds of wool. The photo album shows sweaters produced for the German Air Force, socks produced for their Navy, and long underwear for ground troops. It's hard to gauge whether or not the program was a success, but we do know that the coddled rabbits lived in close proximity to human prisoners. The well-fed rabbits were housed in some of the Nazi regime's most notorious concentration camps, Auschwitz, Dachau, and Mauthausen, and nearly 30 more camps around Central Europe. The contrast between the brutality of the camps, with their cruel disregard for human life, and the well-cared-for rabbits is deeply unnerving. This jarring context makes the remnants of the program, the book found by Schultz, seem all more sinister. In some compounds, where 800 human beings would be packed into barracks that were barely adequate for 200, the rabbits lived in luxury in their own elegant hutches. In Buchenwald, where tens of thousands of human beings starved to death, rabbits enjoyed beautifully prepared meals. The SS men who whipped, tortured, and killed prisoners saw to it that the rabbits enjoyed loving care. The rabbits were raised for their soft, warm fur, which was shaved and used for, among other things, the lining of jackets for the Luftwaffe pilots. Himmler, in a 1943 speech referring to the prisoners that endured forced labor, stated, "We Germans, who are the only people in the world who have a decent attitude towards animals, will assume a decent attitude towards these human beings. But it is a crime against our blood to worry about these people." Few accounts of the Angora Project have survived, though American soldiers at one camp reported that when prisoners were asked to slaughter the rabbits at the end of the war to make stew, they couldn't bear to do it. Today, Himmler's Angora book is housed at the Wisconsin Historical Society. Photographs, charts, and maps from the book are among the more than 27,000 images available in the Wisconsin Historical Society's digital collection. Angora was featured in a Wisconsin Historical Images online gallery in March of 2007. If you would like to email me, reach out at hareoftherabbit@gmail.com, or you can visit the website at hareoftherabbit.com. If you would like to support the podcast and keep the lights on, you can support us whenever you use Amazon through the link at the website on the Support the Podcast page. This will not cost you anything extra, and I cannot see who purchased what. You can also become a Fluffle fan supporter by donating through Patreon. And again, there's a link at the hareoftherabbitpodcast.com.